Hello folks, Typhon Carter here, and I bring to you DPP Revival Invitational play-ins. This is round 2 of Time Bracket. Today we're live once again. It's going to be between Django and Airi Pearl. And last time Airi had to beat Hugo, so that was a huge upset. And then Django, which we covered live, actually beat Track in a very convincing manner. So this should be a very, very exciting matchup to watch today, as both players are on Smog Tour, so they could start at any moment though. But as per my personal picks, between this matchup, I think these are two players who don't really build to my knowledge, although I think Django's like a better clicker than Airi, although I think Airi has shown that he can hold his own against strong competition in the past. So, you know, there's that going on, and I think, although I think last time though, and based on what I've seen with Django, and they are off and running. So, Django on the bottom here and Airi on the top. So we have Empoleon versus Bronzong lead, so Airi perhaps leading off with a stall team of sorts, and Empoleon could be Specs Empoleon, or it could just be Rocks Empoleon. So question is, how will they approach this turn 1? Stealth Rocks are up, EQ's there, 50%. That Empoleon might be Sash, but that Hydro Pump not gonna quite do enough on that Bronzong, and that might be Spadef invested Bronzong, and that Empoleon is gonna go down right away. So Airi off to a 6-5 lead, but for Django, you know, like, could have a Gengar in the back. Empoleon plus Gengar is a thing. Kingdra though is gonna follow up, and Kingdra is gonna be an immense threat here. Surfs, that's a Spec Surf into a Starmie, and Starmie could get a spin off here. Although I highly expect Django to perhaps have a Ghost in the back, but T-Tar is gonna be the Starmie punish instead, and Starmie is probably gonna get dropped here. Oh no, it's Scarf instead, so Starmie is just gone just like that. And Heracross is a follow-up here, so this might be SD Hera. I think Zong, Starmie, Heracross. I think I've ran a similar style team before, although I think it was with Magneton and Gyarados in the back. And it was not Lefty Starmie, it's usually Spec Star, and then Laddie in the back. That's what I would expect Airi to have. But this Heracross could look to make some noise here. Could get SD off, but like I expect Django to have a steal, or Gyarados is going to be the Heracross answer. SD's up here. Stone Edge is actually going to be a threat to KO here, so that's something you gotta be careful of if you are Django. And oh boy, let me tell you, this is extremely untenable. This is a really bad situation though, needless to say. Stone Edge is here, that's gonna land. That crit does not matter, because that Gyarados was gone all day, every day. And now if you're Django, like, how are you going to follow up on this? Like, Kingdra can't take a close combat +1. Scissor's gotta be the answer, and I think that might be a CB Scizor. But I don't think Bullet Punch is going to kill from this range on this Heracross. What Django might do here, and oh, okay. That's a bit of an interesting decision there. Yeah, 22%, and oh, yeah, there's the Magneton. So good stuff from Airi to draw out that Scizor and to bait it into an easy trap there. Bullet Punches again. And we got the Scarf T-Tar. What's the last here? I imagine the last here could be like a... No, not a Gengar. Oh, Flygon here. Flygon's going to show up here. And Flygon could actually stay in and Outrage here. That is a feasible play. But just got a U-turn here. Going to get rid of that Bronzong. And question is, where you go lead off with? Because the problem is, if you go Kingdra, you're going to give up entry to Heracross. Now, to be fair though, Heracross can make some magic happen. Actually, no, rather, Heracross, I don't think it flat out KOs, and oh, okay. Leads there, and close combat. Okay, that will actually do the job. Interesting, and the issue is that this is just kind of a bad spot, because Airi just has built up a massive advantage with that Heracross early in the game. And there's the Rhyperior. Oh, I think this is yeah, I've made Heracross plus Rhyperior for Laurel back in SPL 2 years ago. And Mega Horn's there, interesting, so no, that's probably Mega Horn plus Fire Punch there. But the issue now is that a Magneton can easily just get a Flash Cannon off if he opts to do so. But just got Ice Fang here, but I don't know about that because I think... okay, I mean, sure. One problem though is that... Did Airi... Oh no, oh, it's Scarf. It's Scarf Gyarados. No, I think Crystal actually made a 6 based around this, and this now means that... So it's a double Scarf action here, and Magneton should be okay barring a crit. And that's gonna do it, so Airi's gonna take game 1. Off to a commanding 1-0 lead, and Airi is on match point versus Django, so... Talk about a beatdown with that Heracross. And yeah, that being Scarf Gyro makes a lot of sense because what we saw was Scarf T-Tar earlier, and in the battle chat, battle log, it didn't really show. Although one thing I will say is that this team does have a bit of a soft, it's a little bit soft in the Toxic Spikes if Django had loaded that. But interesting for Django to actually opt for a non-stall team in game 1, and I think it just kind of didn't work out, and they're just gonna jump right into game 2. So game 2's right. Oh wow, they have gotten started already. Turn 1 there, it was Kingdra into Fori, and then we got Magnezone into an instant Fori trap. So I'm gonna swap viewpoints here. So down to Focus Sash here. Stealth Rocks are gonna be up, and Magnezone will at least keep Fori from spinning. But the Swampert can be a real threat though, because we know that this Magnezone does not have a Hidden Power Grass, and this Kingdra being nailed by Toxic Spikes is kind of bad. Oh, Stone Edge! That might be a CB Swampert. Yeah, that's a CB Swampert on Django's end here, and again, back against the wall. You're off to a nice start with the Toxic Spikes. And Django opting to kind of maybe slow the game down a little bit. It could be a 40 like hyper offense of sorts. Now Heatran though taking 48% for that Draco Meteor is quite nasty. Oh man. The other thing I'm gonna say is that for what Airi has in the back, like you got Kingdra, you got Magnezone, you gotta have a floater, so I don't think it's Rotom, and oh, Dark Pulse. So that might be a Charcoal Heatran on Django's end, or like a Resist Berry, like a Pasho or Shuka Berry. Too early to tell. But Flygon's gonna show up here, obviously got friend to EQ. I mean, if you're Django, I mean, you probably should have a Latias or a Rotom in the back. I would imagine that you should have a Rotom in the back anyways, because of the fact that, one, if you are going to run like Toxic Spikes, Stealth Rocks like Suicide Fori, then you need to have a Ghost that can actually block stuff. And then, okay, yeah, Airi's just gonna play it straight here, so that is a Life Orb Flygon, so we got double Dragon action here. And this could be a Spikeless Mixgon. But if you're Django, I mean, yeah, you can take one Draco Meteor for the most part, but Waterfall's there. Yeah, I mean, Airi knows that this is CB Pert, and yeah, I mean, it's doing 48%, but if you're Metagross, you could friend the Explosion here. You could also opt to keep it around. And oh man, Rotom here. Yep, there's the Rotom, like I suspected. Question is, what kind of Rotom is this? Is this Subsplit Rotom, or is this something like Scarf Rotom? And there's the T-Tar. Yeah, that T-Spike's getting its money's worth there, and 43%. This could be Scarf, and that T-Tar's gonna go down, so Airi not able to trap that Rotom for a time being. And Flygon is still gonna get nailed like a truck by Rotom. Yeah, I mean, neither player is really slowed down at all this game, although I would give Django a slight advantage here. Yep, it's Scarf and oh, Roost, interesting. So Airi is trying to play for Hydro Pump misses, which is not a bad strategy. Although now Django's got to try to take advantage of this and go Swampert. And that Swampert, yeah, it's got to take 63% there. And Waterfall is going to KO because, again, we know that it's CB Pert based on the damage there. And especially if that Mixgon is running hasty nature, so like minus defense. So like these are things that I would, yeah, these are things you want to like pay attention to. And there's the Metagross going to threaten another explosion. EQ's there into a Rotom, and that's go Whiff. And oh, if that was CB, then I think that was a roll. There's a chance that that Waterfall might have not killed Mixgon. Just for what it's worth. And there's a Shadow Ball there as a mid-ground, although that's interesting, although I would probably go Swampert here. But the thing is, if you're Django, you want to be careful of getting exploded on. But oh, nice stay-in from Django, and that Metagross is just going to get punished. And Heatran is the last on Airi's end. Now, if you're Django, you don't want to get careless and get Hidden Power Grass, so you... Oh, okay, so there's a Suicune in the back. And Fire Blast is here. And Hydro Pump is going to deal a significant amount of damage. Oh, Surf's there instead, and that Magnezone is gone. And that might be a... That might be a Lum Suicune. And Django is going to take this game too. So, Django quickly taking that game back. And that was nicely done from Django, being able to set the pace early. And then that Mixgon just should be able to do more, but I think Airi needed to be patient, needed to look for opportunities to try and wear that Swampert down before letting Mixgon do everything. And that's a big reason why usually if you're running Mixed Flygon, you want to pair it with Spikes, because like I think if Airi had passive damage, like, you know, Spikes or whatnot, and let the Swampert get punished a couple times, then you could get mileage that way. But really though, yeah, I mean, Django did a good job positioning his Swampert, being able to put pressure on Airi's team. Like, just click the big stab button in Waterfall. Fantastic mid-ground. And again, Airi's only water resist, being Kingdra, especially with T-Spikes on the field, was a little bit tough to overcome. And then like, yeah, like you kind of see like the double water action just kind of overloading the opposition. Oh, okay, here's game 3. Yeah, these two not really take any time. I'm going to swap sides for continuity and pulling on into Metagross. So Django might be reusing again though from game 1. And then Metagross here could be Scarf Metagross. That is something that we've seen a PC experiment with a little bit before. And Empoleon here could perhaps look to get rocks up again, could let Hydro Pump rip. There's a few ways that this beginning could play out, and Metagross could just be Lumberry. A lot of Metagross do not run Sash. Yeah, so first real slowdown here. Django's timer showing up at 270. And for Airi perhaps looking... I mean, what do you do here? You could just... I mean, both players could exchange rocks here. That is a plausible route to take. And Django now down to 240 seconds, so he's really just trying to contemplate what to do. Oh, Hydro Pump there actually does not quite kill. And both players down to like less than 5%, down in the red there, less than 10% health. So that was quite the turn 1 exchange. That Metagross could be packing Bullet Punch. And Kingdra's got to come in here and just stuff this Empoleon for the time being. And look at that, the Specs Torrent boost at Hydro Pump still doing 37 to Kingdra. Not bad damage at all. But Kingdra now, he's got threatened to KO here. Could threaten a huge Surf. That's probably what I would do here. But no, it's Waterfall instead. So I think you got to have a Magnezone in the back of sorts. Usually if you're running DD Kingdra, that you definitely want to have Magnezone or Magneton. And there's the Bronzong. And Bronzong could look to get rocks up here, but you could also EQ if you want to stifle the Metagross, but it looks like Swampert might be the rock setter here. Airi does have to be careful of getting toxic by Bronzong if it happens to carry that. Now, of course, there's also the off chance that it might not have that, and Gyarados is going to be invited in here. Question is, does Airi have Hidden Power Electric on this Swampert? Or what his other methods are. Oh, it just got to get roared out instead. Nicely done. And that Tyranitar is going to be brought out onto the field, and now Sand is active. That Gyarados is going to take a lot of damage, and oh! Huge crunch there. That crit actually really matters. That is not what you want to see if you're Airi in this game 3. Now Jirachi could also, Jirachi's going to be brought out onto the field here, and it could just Iron Head here. I mean, Iron Head's a pretty safe mid-ground click. That kind of covers just about everything if Airi has this on his Jirachi. Iron Head here does not quite KO, surprisingly, but that might just be max HP Jirachi. And Bronzong, does it have lefties? Yes, it does. Now, if you're Airi, you really don't want, that Swampert really should not have taken that much damage. Otherwise, it could still at least take a blow from Bronzong. But Rotom is going to show up here. And that Tyranitar is also effectively dead unless Django has a spinner. But that is a Scarf Rotom. And Tyranitar is going to be used as a sacrificial piece here. Just to stuff whatever Rotom is going to try to do. Now, Flygon is Django's follow-up here. I expect this to be Scarf Flygon. And Swampert's just going to be sacked here, and Django quickly re-establishing an advantage here on his end. Because Rotom can't really click Overheat freely anymore, which is kind of an issue. And then the other thing I would say is that T-Tar, okay, T-Tar's the last here, and this T-Tar could be Fire Blast, it could be Mixed Tar, it could just be CB, just like, you know, click the big crunch button. So if you're Django here, you could stay in, because you'll probably live one. The other option is you gotta have something else. Gyarados wouldn't be bad, and oh, only 36%. That is surprisingly low damage. What are the odds that this is heat proof? Yeah, that looks suspiciously low, I have to say. Oh, nice crunch there. Yeah, I'd have to check, but this Bronzong, I mean, usually if you are... Oh, no, it was not heat proof. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys, I was tweaking out. Flygon's just got EQ here, now an easy KO. I would probably click Shadow Ball here if I'm Rotom. Rotom, just spam Shadow Ball, and then see what happens from there, right? Because you'll get decent damage regardless of what you click. The other ballsy move that Airi could make here is Thunderbolting in front of the Flygon, knowing that Flygon has to switch out. Yeah, I was a little surprised that Airi stayed in there against this Flygon with the T-Tar. I felt like that T-Tar might have had a little bit of value. And that Fire Blast was probably just a low roll on the Bronzong. Ooh boy. And Bronzong going to come right back in. Shadow Ball's here, gonna do 25%. And it is in range of a 2-hit KO, but don't forget Gyro Ball is still going to do a decent amount to this Rotom since it is carrying a Choice Scarf. Most certainly, although I think Django just needs to focus on making sure this Rotom is in range of getting KO'd or knocked out so that it can't come in again. That's what I would prioritize, and 27% there. So it can come in one more time at this rate. But Scizzor's gonna show up here, and it's just got Bullet Punch. That's a CB Bullet Punch there, and that Jirachi, I mean, you just keep Bullet Punching here if you're Django, because again, Flygon should clean this up. And oh, it's Akaberry. Gets burned though, which is actually kind of bad. But Shuka's gotten rid of, so really nice from Django to just Bug Bite there, get rid of Shuka Berry. And that means that Flygon can actually KO the Jirachi reliably now, and Django should be moving on to a finals of time bracket with how this game is playing out. Yeah, that Jirachi's gonna go down, and the Kingdra should take more than should be taken out. Oh, it's rest! Now you have to switch out if you are a Django. I have spoken too soon, folks. That Gyarados is still healthy. We don't know if it has Outrage or not. That's one way you could get out of this. And then Airi needs to get at least 2 DDs up. This is anyone's game now. T-Wave's here. This should be a wrap, barring... Well, no. Airi can still rest, though, but the issue here is that you're just gonna invite Flygon in, because I don't think this has Sleep Talk. Rest is here. You're gonna need at least another... If Bounce misses here, things could get really nasty. Oh! And that's it. And Airi is going to be eliminated, and Django is going to move on to Time Bracket Finals. Nicely played from Django. And Airi almost pulled a fast one with the Lum Kingdra being able to come back. Although I think if Airi gets a couple... yeah, that actually could have... Airi could have stolen that from Django, because if you proc a Waterfall and then say you get a flinch there, then that's one way Airi could perhaps try to get out of it. And then, let's say you flinch it, right? Boom, and then you would probably have to rest again. And then that way, so that's how you would get out of that. But that is brutal. Brutal way for Airi to go out. And Django nicely played. He will be facing, I believe, the winner of... Sorry, I'm just gonna check this right now. Hold on. So, Django will face the winner of Big Will versus Loliole. Whoever wins that series, so that could be one of our 2 main eventers for the main event through play-ins. But that being said, though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating to DPP Revival Invitational. Says a prize pool currently sitting at $300 at the time I am recording this, and I will see you guys next time.